But I think I was preaching Psalm 51 at Glenside, in Calvary, OPC in Glenside. So this is over 12 years ago. And seeing the cluster of terms that are used at the beginning of that psalm that David uses, the three most often used words in the Old Testament for sin, iniquity, and transgression, and seeing how those lined up really wonderfully with the three functions of the heart, the mind, the desires, and the will, and seeing how the terms were really helpful to bring out the capacity of our heart to sin in its distinctive ways, intellectually and then affectionately, to use a Puritan's term for desires, and then the will, volitionally. So those things came together. Then I started playing around. Well, I should say in the background of this was always the threefold office of Christ. That was a part of my dissertation work and has always been an interest of mine. And so seeing that as an overlay of how is Christ redemptively at work in our hearts, I think those things started to converge, and so I put together a Sunday school series that I did at Bethel Church in Wheaton, probably like 8-9 years ago, something like that. And in the church was Al Fisher, who then was an editor. And after the end of the Sunday school series, he said, you should put together a book proposal, which I did. There's more to the story than that, but that's kind of the short version. And I did, and I offered it in a proposal to Crossway. They accepted it. And that project even went through some revisions. Started writing probably about 7 years ago. And with my study breaks that I had a couple weeks every year, started trying to get this thing done, which was a real challenge. But actually having that time was helpful because I would like do a conference for like an OPC church or a men's retreat, kind of using this grid. And to me, it was kind of like throwing this spaghetti against a refrigerator door to see if it would stick. Is it done? Is the pasta ready? And it gave me a sense of, okay, this was not helpful. Don't ever say this again. And I remember doing a family conference in Michigan for that presbytery with the original order of that I had the book laid out in, and came home absolutely decidedly understanding that was the wrong order. Wow. And wrote to Crossway and say, is it possible for us to rewrite the proposal? I've got the wrong order. This is not the way to do it. And what I did originally was just describing the functions of the heart in the first section, but it meant that all the grace came at the last end of the book. And I thought, I don't want that. Mm-hmm. And so doing those conferences and talks were so helpful to really, mull over this material. And so where I feel good about it is not just thinking, but just really having the opportunity to talk to God's people about this material and putting it in a form where it's really, the sauce has been cooking a long time, and so I feel good about that. And in the sense that this was not just I didn't slap it together, that's for sure. So it is what it is, but it's nice when you can say, I've thought about this. I'm very open to correction in things I've left out, and but at least I can say that I've reflected on it.